Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Polysaturated. I am one of your hosts, Crow, and I am here with...
Jay.
And...
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I have
He's
lost...
having an identity crisis.
Folks, he has forgotten who he is.
Alzheimer's is kicking in already.
Again.
Really? You're going to do this? Wait, I forgot that I kicked in the first time, so...
Oh, see? There you
I
go.
am Zan, apparently.
Awesome. Yes, we had to put that on a cue card for him. You didn't see.
Yeah. Imagine a little cue card and us waving it around,
That's what we do for most of his lines. We just hold up little cards, and he reads them. All of the wonderful things we write. And
Oh, you call the things you write wonderful?
oh,
Hey.
They're barely words.
People are still listening, so they must like something about it.
you are a fan favorite, and I'll take full
I
credit
am?
for that. And so,
I don't know, Crow. I think you are.
You and Lamp are the favorites, I think.
Yeah. Lamp.
Supersedes?
Whoa.
Surpasses. What? Really?
Whoa. Lamp supersedes all.
Why are you surprised that I come up with big words?
Supersede.
come over here and supersede me.
Whoa.
I'm not even sure how to take that.
Oh,
You know exactly how to take that. It's not about taking as
I'll
much
show
as
you
it's
how to
about
take it.
giving.
Giving is not my love language. I'm sorry.
Anyway, folks, this episode is about poly merch.
Yeah.
Poly merch.
Poly merch.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Mostly the lack thereof.
Because if you would really like merchandise, something along the lines of like, hey, thanks for banging my wife or
Partner.
Partner?
Husband. Partner.
Husband.
That sounds terrible.
It does.
Honestly.
It
I mean, and if you have a dark sense of humor, that kind of thing can be great.
Well, I'm not exactly a wordsmith like Jay is.
Mhm.
So,
Like those of us who write your lines. No, okay.
I'm sorry. Last I checked, I have no script.
You read very well.
Okay. Moving on.
So,
Speaking of communication,
take a sip.
well, not only take a sip, but I think I'm going to need some communication after this episode.
No, listeners, nobody writes Zan's words. He comes up with all of this awesomeness off the top of his head while we're sitting in a closet in front of
Yeah.
microphones. This is part of the talent that is Zan.
Wait, there's
Yeah.
talent here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of it.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
It just oozes out of you.
Oozes.
That's not talent.
Mm.
I'm going to see a
Depends
doctor.
on what you're doing,
I got to go see a doctor for
what
that.
profession you're in.
Well, in that case.
So, anyway, I had an experience just this recently for our last anniversary. I was looking for a card, and I was
Is this your card?
in several stores. Ace of Spades.
The Ace of Spades. I'm sorry. Flashback to Lemmy.
Actually, at a certain point, I was ready for the King of Hearts because, seriously, there was nothing, and I mean nothing, that would even come close in any kind of store, on any kind of shelf that I could find to express our situation.
So are you saying that nothing compares to the merchandise you find everywhere?
It's been 7 hours and 15 days.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm combing through. You know, I start in the anniversary aisle, and I just combed through with an actual comb and didn't find shit.
Comb
So-
over.
We ain't found shit.
It's like
All right.
Passover with combing.
I sat there and went through card after card after card, looking for something that I could do something with. Just a baseline I could start with to express what it is. And I'm on one side of a V.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a unique situation. We all live together. We all consider ourselves married. But there is no card for that. So I was looking through the store a lot. Nothing could express anything that I was looking for. And this is not a problem that you only see looking for cards, like for anniversary cards. It's also birthdays.
And happy divorce.
There's, yeah, really. There needs to be more things like this, but you
Happy
see it
baby
in-
daddy.
Yeah, in every kind of situation, there'll be graduation pictures, and they'll have literally mom, dad frames with the graduate in the middle and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's just 3 frames connected, And it's one of those things like, well, how does this even fit the modern family? Let alone polycules. I want to know how it fits the modern family of 3 stepdads and a stepmom and a stepmom-in-law and, you know, the aunt that actually raised the kid that got them through high school. And now you have a graduate. Doesn't that kid want their actual family in that picture? And I always wonder, how in the world have we made these tiny, tight little boxes that don't seem to fit anybody anymore?
Little boxes on a hill.
That's why there's so many artists out on Pinterest.
Mm.
Creatrix extraordinaires, that's when they come to light and we use their services or we become them. And you have to kind of use some ingenuity. So that very same picture frame you were talking about, why not just use some tools and little tacks and hammers and attach other picture frames to it so that you can make it your own? Or you could buy the little multi-picture frame things and do it your own way.
You know what would come in handy with that? A laser cutter.
No, here we go.
What? I'm just saying, if we had a laser cutter, we can make our own picture frames. No. I'm assuming that's a no.
And if I had a Mercedes, I could go really fast down the road.
Well, I can go really fast down the road on a motorcycle.
So
Which
if anyone wants to fund Zan's, extraneous hobbies,
Yes, please.
go ahead and send us $10,000 to be able to afford this
I can totally
ridiculous
get one.
laser cutter that he's been oogling over the last few months.
I can get one for cheaper than $10,000. I can get one for around $5.
Oh, yeah.
Just $5.
Only $5.
Well, look, I can ask for 10.
If 7,000 of our listeners went on to level 1 Patreon, we could do this.
But you know what about our listeners? I have seen that we have listeners from Iceland.
That's awesome.
That's what that
I wonder if Bjork is listening.
That would be awesome. But here's the
Big
thing.
fans.
Iceland.
We love Bjork.
Well, not just that, but we love Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
That is like one of our
It's a bucket list.
It is an absolute bucket list
Check off.
of like places that we absolutely want to go. Okay, Iceland. We love the fact that you are listening to us now. We also have people in Australia, Europe, Norway, Sweden. Like, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is amazing.
Fucking awesome.
Worldwide.
No, we're not. We're not.
Boats and hoes.
But yeah, as far as finding merchandise for the modern family, and as far as the poly family, which you're going to get even more and more scarce, as far as what kind of stuff you're going to be able to find. Jay, our master, crafter, wordsmith. So she comes up with ways to incorporate the family and basically everybody into either picture frames or whatever else, just to show the solidarity that we have.
Greeting cards.
Oh yeah, greeting cards.
Family photos. Even photo collages. Everything, but it takes a lot of altering, especially anything you're going to buy from the store. It's ridiculous. You have to be a creatrix extraordinaire.
And by the way, I want to mention to one of our friends, Rick, if I do not get a Christmas card from you dressed up as Rocky, I'm going to be really disappointed.
From Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, he dressed up as Rocky.
Yeah.
Because that was fucking hilarious. As far as Jay was saying there's really not much out there. Jay will be posting a picture or two on our social media accounts as to what we typically do with cards. We'll actually get a greeting card or something like that remotely matches what we want to say, and then we'll edit the card and scratch out my and put our, and
we change the pronouns to fit our family,
to make it say whatever the fuck we want to say.
For instance, I have this card that I pulled out of our little memory box. It says, "You're always on my mind." And it was altered to say, "You're always in our minds and our hearts." And then on the inside, it goes, the original verbiage was, "I wonder if you realize how many times a day I stop and think about you in a very loving way." And it was changed to we wonder if you realize and we stop and think about you. To that, on the other side, it said, how many times I wish you joy and hope you'll always love me just as much as I love you. And it was changed to how many times we wish you joy and hope you'll always love us just as much as we love you.
So here lies a difficulty with people like me who are not really creative when it comes to words. Yeah, I end up doing this. I usually get some kind of card that's kind of funny. Just this past for weekend for Crow's birthday, I got him a card, and yes, I got him a card from it. It was originally from his.
Got me a card.
It was the perfect card. Oh my God.
Which I'm kind of surprised because I usually that's good. Let's go.
Zan blew it out of the water.
Really?
He really did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh. So, but in there it was to my husband because Crow. He's my husband.
Aww.
And so what we ended up doing is just getting that card and just putting what we typically put in there. We just added the card to make it say what we wanted to say, and that's kind of the thing of trying to find merchandise in general that matches your polycule or matches whatever else you need to.
Yeah, he actually wrote his own stuff. He did his own stunts. It was
Yeah.
he wrote,
And it was emotion, so yeah, it was a
it wasn't
stunt.
it wasn't just happy birthday.
I wish he'd fill my cards out like that.
No, he wrote an amazing thing
Mm-hmm.
and choked me up and had me speechless in front of everybody. It was great.
It was
I choked
awesome.
him.
Up.
He choked me. Yeah. Something he's wanted to do for a very long time.
Well,
Don't threaten me with a good time. Really, you can do it. You can have kind of thing that you want. It's just it takes effort and ingenuity that it doesn't take for the average person. The average monogin.
Monogin.
Monoginagan. Monoginagan.
Monogaman.
Monogaman. The average monogamous person can walk into a store. They know that the cards are basically made for them. They can walk in, they can pick up a card, they can look at it, see that it's a particular brand that they're looking for or whatever else.
Or they just go to the husband or wife or spouse or funny section, and they know they can find what they're looking for.
Exactly. So if they know that their spouse needs something humorous, they go to that. Hey, here's musical cards that say exactly the kind of thing that I'm looking to say. And more and more, I hope that there will be less tight boxes in the future for merchandise when it comes down to it, because we're going to have our whole society is trending in this way. There's step parents that raise children. There's that have always been there for a child, and they don't go by mom. They go by whatever their name is, Chris or Mike or Dave or Sue or
Chuck,
Jenny or whatever, Chuck. And that would be what needs to be above the picture frame. So there's going to have to be a trend in the market where these things can be a little bit more flexible, and I hope to see it someday.
If you do that kind of thing and you need something to really be specific like that, you can buy, speaking about pictures in particular, you can buy a larger picture frame than you need and buy filler to go in the middle. And then just take maybe even little pieces of paper, or if you want to get super fancy, you can type it up. If you're all bougie like that, you can do that instead of just writing it out or whatever.
If you're all bougie.
Yeah, but if you want to, if you need to do something like that, that is an idea and something that we've actually had to do here at the house, where we bought a bigger picture frame than we needed, put the layout that we wanted, and then just made frames and borders to go around it and labeled it as we will. So that's an idea that you can do. If you're looking for other kinds of merchandise that's particular to your family, or you want to make nod to your relationship statuses and things like that, you are probably, if you're not super artsy craftsy, you're going to have to seek out the help of some local artisan that that can make t-shirts or designs, or has a really fancy printer, or that kind of thing. I mean, look around, go to your local arts and crafts shows.
Support your local artists
as much as possible, seriously.
Because